How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the last week of classes here. You're done. You made it through the semester. Congratulations, first off. Good job. Hopefully, you've learned a lot about world religions. That's kind of the point of the class. Hopefully, if you knew a lot in the beginning, hopefully, you've learned a little bit more now as well. Yeah, and hopefully, you learned about some religions you didn't know about as much about, and now you do. So that's great. Speaking of which, I have not gotten a chance to look at your discussion posts yet about the framework stuff. I will. Sorry, I got a lot of Wednesday. Today, I had a couple of projects I had to finish up, so it's on my docket tonight. I'll look at all those, get those back to you. Sorry about the delay on that. But this week, there's no new information to sort of review. A couple of videos that I thought a Dalai Lama one, and also one about Hawaiian traditions, which I thought were with some Kanaka Ole practitioners there from that lineage that we sort of talked about. So feel free to please do look at all of those. And then the big thing is this week, hopefully everyone's finalizing their final projects. That's the big thing. The big sort of goal for this week by Friday, May 8th, have those in. Again, it's two sort of separate elements, but I think they overlap a lot. So that's kind of why I divided them out. One is a paper, a little more, look at the guidelines there. I think it's pretty straightforward. 12-point font, proper citations, both primary sources. These texts, what are these primary sources from your religion? I really want you to engage with those a little bit. That is not just sort of, secondary. This is what people said about things. Primary source stuff. And then a couple secondary. What have people said about these religions and as well. So use those, incorporate those, 3 to 5 page papers. Try to stick to that 5-page max. One, I've got a lot of these to read, so, have mercy on me. Don't give me like 10-page papers. Two, half of this is really trying to sort of narrow things down. So if you're not around the 5-page section and you have a lot more to say, figure out how maybe you can narrow it down there. And then the presentation is a little bit different. So there's slides. You've got the first two slides are sort of mandatory. Make sure that those are organized. The rest of them you can do however you see fit. Again, 5 to 7, I think right around there will be fine. That would be the equivalent of like a 10-minute presentation if you were talking it. If you want to record a narration over it, feel free. Nothing wrong with that. But you don't have to. I can narrate it in my mind. Definitely bring images. Try to use bullet points. Try not to cut and paste paragraphs from your paper into your presentation, right? And the idea, I think, there is you'll see sort of this play off between presentation and paper. That as you're preparing both of them, it'll kind of help narrow down exactly what you want to kind of focus on. Particularly the 3 main points of your presentation. If you focus on those just in your paper, that'll really, I think, help narrow it down, or however many points you have in your presentation. So take a look at those. Those are due by 8th. And again, papers to the assignment tab, presentations to the discussion post tab, just because they're easier to for me. The way that they're uploaded, I think, will be also easier for you. So do that. And then the final exam a week from today, Wednesday, May 13th, from 9 a.m. in the morning to 11:55 p.m. at night. Take a look at that. The review guide is there. First 2 sections, pretty familiar. Third section is a short answer, where, again, the sort of substantive functional elements of religion that we talked about at the beginning of the course. So go back as you review, look at week 1, and then give examples. Pick one of those topics, and then give examples from at least 3 world religions we looked at, and from any part of the course. Make sure it's related to this course. Don't just kind of go off on things that we haven't studied yet. So this is sort of course reflection. What have we learned about? How does it apply to that? And the last one, I think, if you go back to the first week, I asked everybody to define their idea of religion. So make sure you listen to that before you do your final. So go back. What did you say about religion? What did you upload about that? And then explain how that stayed the same and why is that the case, or has that changed at all? And then why is that the case? So sort of explain, like, if you had a really good idea, a clear, pretty concept of what religion was, and you found this course reinforce that, explain how that is, that process in place. Though, if you kind of like, it's sort of vague, how has it become more refined? Or maybe after doing this class, you have new ideas about how religion, or how you would define religion. So Yeah, that's the fourth one. You can question there. So that's specifically based on your answers, right? So, and again, I'll go back and listen to what you guys said in the beginning as well. So, cool. I think that's it. Have a good summer.